Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome back with me, Miss Ira, in presentation of CEFR. All right, today we are going to talk about chapter 3 of CEFR, entitled Common Reference Level. So today I'm going to present about this. Okay, let's begin. All right, today we have a lot of many subchapter. There are nine. The first one is criteria for descriptor for common reference levels. The second is presentation of common reference levels. The third is the common reference levels. And the fourth, illustrative descriptors. And then the fifth, flexibility in the referencing approach. The sixth is content coherence in common reference levels. The seven is how to read the scales of illustrative descriptors. And then the eight, how to use scales of descriptors of language proficiency. And the last is proficiency levels and achievement grades. Okay, subchapter 1, criteria for descriptors for common reference levels. All right, the aim of the framework first. One of the aims of the frameworks is to help partners to describe the levels of proficiency required by existing standards. So, my A1 level is your A1 level, or standardization or equalizing the language proficiency. Okay, and then test and examination in order to facilitate comparison between different systems of qualification. And then the descriptive scheme and the common reference levels have been developed to realize this aim. Okay, between them, they provide a conceptual grid which users can exploit to describe their system. Ideally, a scale of reference levels in a common framework should meet the following 4 criteria. 2 related with the description issues, and 2 related to the measurement issues. Okay? Okay, description issues. 2 related to description issues. There are a common framework scale should be context-free in order to accommodate generalizable results from different specific contexts. And then the description also needs to be based on theories, language competence. This is difficult to achieve because the available theory and research is inadequate to provide a basis for such a description. And then the second is measurement issues. There are 2. The points on the scale at which particular activities and competencies are situated in a common framework. Okay? Are situated in a common framework. Scale should be objectively and determined in that they are based on a theory of measurement. And next is the number of levels. It should be adequate to show progression in different sectors. But in any particular context, should not exceed the number of levels between which people are capable of making a reasonably consistent distinction. And then subchapter 2, presentation of common reference levels. Okay, there are 6 broad levels. The first one, or the first stage, is breakthrough. The second is wastage. The third is threshold and vintage. What's the meaning of breakthrough? This is corresponding to that what Wilkins in his 1978, yeah, professional level formulatic proficiency and from the scheme publication, blah, blah, blah. Okay, there are breakthrough, wastage, threshold, vintage, and then effective operation proficiency, and the last is mastery. Okay, this is the, what is it? The table picture. Okay, A, B, C, 6 per level from A, basic user, B, independent user, and C, proficient user. A, or basic user, divided into two. The first is A1 and A2, breakthrough and wastage. Okay, and the independent user, or B, divided into two, B1 and B2, threshold and vintage. And the last is C, or proficient user. Proficient user divided into two, C1 and C2. This is the effective operational proficiency and mastery. Okay, the third subchapter is the common reference levels. The common reference levels. Okay, here it is. A1 until C2, breakthrough until mastery. It has each, what is it? On this level, you can, for A1, you can understand simple conversation, introduce yourself and others, ask and answer questions about personal details, and then interact in a simple way. This is for A1. And for A2, understand sentences related to the areas of the most immediate blah, blah, blah. And then for B1, understand the main points of regular situation. And then B2, understand the main ideas. C1, understand the wide range, demanding longer text, blah, 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 implicit the meaning. Okay, for C2 is mastery. So it can, at C2, we should understand the is virtually everything heard or read. Okay. And which stage are you guys? In C2 maybe? All right. And the fourth is illustrative descriptors. This is the common reference level, self-assessment grade. For listening and reading from A1 until C2, it has each explanation, okay? For A1, I can recognize familiar words and very basic phrases. And then I can understand phrases and the highest frequency vocabularies for A2. In its stages, it has its own explanation. What can we do at this level? And the listening part and the reading part. And then for spoken interaction, spoken production, and writing. So I suggest you to not only watch this video presentation, but also read the book of CEFR, because it's a lot of things that we should understand. Okay. And then next is common reference level, qualitative aspect of spoken language use. Okay, the range is from C2 and C1, B2, B1, A2, and E1. Okay, remember the C stage is the highest, or the mastery, or the proficiency language used. And then B1, B2 is intermediate, and A1 and A2 is the lowest. Okay. It also has its explanation in each stage, for range, for the accuracy, for the fluency, for the interaction and coherence. Okay, you can read it, everyone. For example, C2, for the accuracy, maintains consistent grammatical control of complex language, even with tension in other ways indeed. And then for fluency, can express spontaneously and length with a natural colloquial flow. And then interaction, can interact with ease and skill, picking up and using nonverbal intonational cues, and apparently effortlessly, yeah. This is for C2 or mastery, and the coherence can create coherent and cohesive discourse, making full and appropriate use of variety organizational patterns and a wide range of connectors and other cohesive devices. Okay, for B2 and B1, and then the next is for A2 and A1 or the lower stages. And then number five chapter of Chapter 3 is flexibility inferencing approach. Okay, we are going to talk about the advantage. Okay, the advantage of inferencing approach is that a common set of levels and or descriptors can be cut into vertical local levels at different points by different user to suit local needs and yet still relate back to a common system. Okay, the numbering allows further subdivisions to be made without losing the reference to the main objective being referred to. And then this is the example 1. Okay. This is the example 2 in environment for learning the language in the area where the spoken one might then develop an independent verbs. And this is the example 3, framework for encouraging higher level language skills for professional needs which probably developed the provision user. Okay. And the 6th is content coherence in common reference levels. Okay, let's explain each stage, yeah? Level A1 or pre-third is considered the lowest level of generative language use. Just like I explained before, that it can interact in a simple way, ask and answer simple question about themselves, where they live, people they know, and things they have, initiate and respond the simple statement in areas immediate need or very familiar topics, blah, blah, blah. Again, for the level A2, does appear to reflect the level referred to by the wastage specification. It is at this level that the majority of descriptors studying social function are to be found. Okay, the next represent is strong wastage. B2 wastage. Okay. And then the level B1 reflects the threshold level specification for a visitor of a foreign country, and it's perhaps most categorized by 2 features. The first feature is the ability to maintain interaction and to get across what you want to in a range of contexts. For example, generally follow the main points of extended discussion, and then provide speeches clearly articulated in certain dialect, okay? And then strong threshold or P1 plus. The same 2 main features continue to be present with the additional of a number of descriptors which focus on the exchange of qualities of information. For example, take message communicating inquiries, explaining problems, provide concrete information required in an interview or consultation, etc. And the level B2 represent a new level for above B1 threshold and A2 wastage. Strong vintage B2 performance, the focus on arguments. So in this stage, we can tell our argument, yeah. And then level C1 was labeled effective operational proficiency. What seems to characterize this level is good access to a broad range of language, which allows fluent, spontaneous communication, as illustrated by the following example. At this level, we can express fluently and spontaneously almost effortlessly, okay? Effortlessly, without effort. So it's easy in this stage, okay? Because the person who got level C1 is really a mastery in language, okay? And level C2 is listed has been termed mastery is not intended to imply native speaker or near native speaker competence. This is the highest level, yeah? And then the 7 is about how to read the skills of illustrative descriptors. Okay, some people cover to read the scale of descriptor from the lowest to the highest level. Some prefer to the reverse from the highest to the lowest. And then for consistency, all skills are presented with C2 as a mastery at the top. Okay, the C2 or the mastery at the top and A1 as a breakthrough at the bottom. Its level should be taken to subsume the levels below a note scale. Okay, that is to say someone at B1 is considered also to be able to do whatever state in A2. So if we are on the stage B1, we can do anything, we can do whatever is stated at A2 and E1, okay? And we are better than what is stated at A2 or wait stage, okay? So if we are in the stage of C1, or we can't or we able to do whatever in the below level. For example, under the C1 is B2, B1, A2, and A1, okay? And number 8, how to use skills of descriptor language proficiency. Okay? A functional distinction has been made between 3 types skills of proficiency. The first is user-oriented skills. The second is assessor-oriented skills and constructed-oriented skills. Okay, this is the theory from Alderson. Yeah, the theory for Alderson. You can read it at the Alderson book at 1991. Okay. User-oriented skills report typically or likely behaviors of learners at any given levels. That means tend to talk about what the learner can do, and be positively worded even at the low levels. Again, and assessor-oriented skills guide the rating of the process, and the constructor-oriented skills guide the construction of the test and can appropriate levels. Okay, this is the summarized skills of language proficiency. Can thus be seen as having one or more of the following orientation. Okay, what learner can do, and then how well she or he performs. And the last is proficiency levels and achievement grades. Sorry. And then proficiency levels and achievement grades. This is the table. Achievement examination Y may be assessed in terms of grading scales 1 until 5, in which the pass, if we would like to pass the proficiency scale, we should in 3. Okay, the norm of representing a pass is 3. So we if we under the 3, we can pass the achievement examination. Okay, examination Y may be part of a suite of examination X, Y, and Z. Each examination will have a grading scale in its real style, but examination X doesn't mean the same thing as a grade 4. Okay, the simple explanation is for example, TOEFL and IELTS. For TOEFL, we should pass 450 to pass the test, but it's different in IELTS, okay? It's different. In each test, the pass is different, Okay? You got it, everyone? All right. That's all about chapter 3. That's all about language represents levels and etc. I hope that all of them can be useful for all of us. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope that I can see you again at the next chapter. All right, see you everyone.